Hey folks, I'm Coach Andy, owner of Louisiana Gridiron Football. I'm joined here with Coach Ross Akpan, the head football coach for the Bayou Prep Gators, and Daily Weeks, our head reporter. We'd like to talk to you today about recruiting. I get asked all the time, what is recruiting? How is it done? What are some of the big issues with recruiting? I've learned from some of the best coaches out there. Coach Sam Nader, I was at LSU. He taught me a lot about recruiting because, there's a sliding GPA scale. I didn't even realize that when I was coaching high school football. I'm going to throw out some names real quick. We're going to go through the list here. Coach Haley always told me that, the best thing, the best programs in the country, it's all about recruiting. You got to get to bring the best players in there. Coach Ron Roberts, he's always looking for a particular style of swag. The same thing with Coach Lacey at Southeastern. And Coach Pete Golding, he was at Southeastern, but now he's at Alabama. So these guys, I've had a lot of great mentors in coaching, especially in recruiting. So I've kind of, tagged the little phrase, tripod of success, coach. What that is the 3 legs of recruiting. First leg, in my opinion, is character. Character kind of drives the wagon, Second leg is academics. Can you do college level work? And third leg being, can you play football? Are you coachable? So that's what that's how I look at it. How do you look at recruiting?
Very honestly, I look at it really the same way. A lot of the guys who I learn from, the guys that I still deal with, on a daily basis, that's what they're looking at. They're a big thing right now is your character. A big thing is your character. Coaches are wanting to bring in guys that are going to acclimate themselves to programs and that will be a good representation of the university. We go down the line, and like you say, you have your 3 legs, and I tell kids all the time, if you're missing one of the legs, you're not standing. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have one of those 3 things, it's just you're non-recruitable, and that's just what it is. It's not your coach did not like you. It's not you got looked over. It's not none of those things. It's those 3. If I'm missing one of those 3, I'm missing the whole thing.
So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a 3-part series in this. We're going to break it down Barney style. I'm prior military, so if you're prior military, you definitely understand Barney style. But we're going to break it down Barney style, so that way people understand what we talk about when we say character, what we talk about when we say academics, and what we talk about when we say can you play football. So today's video is about character. Coach, when you're recruiting, what's the first thing you look at?
When I'm recruiting, one of the first things I'm looking at is actually how I'm a big, and I don't want to say character, it's more of, and just to be real, the swag of that guy. What is his demeanor? Mm-hmm. What is his attitude? Does he have that leader? Is he that guy that people just automatically, when he walks in the room, he's just got it? Is he that guy who may be a little bit timid and he don't really say too much, but he says everything he has to say on the field? I'm really big on trying to see what type of person you are, because at the end of the day, we have to mesh. I have to be able to deal with you on a daily basis. You have to be able to deal with me on a daily basis. And one thing that I learned, actually from Nick Saban when I was really, really young and I was going through the recruiting process was this is only going to go one way, and that's mine. So if that guy can't fall into that line, we probably don't have a good marriage.
Well, one of the things I look at is their Twitter page. At LSU, my job was to sit and look at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Well, not so much Instagram back then, but it's Facebook and Twitter. You wouldn't believe the number of young men.
Oh, yes,
Never mind. You're a head football coach. You would believe.
Yes, I would.
Their Twitter names. Let's start with a pet peeve real quick. Twitter names, coach.
Oh man. Let me say this. Okay, so we're in an age now where Twitter can really, really help a guy. That guy that used to be kind of fell through the cracks. But guess what happens? You're going to still fall through the cracks if your Twitter name is Little Pistol Starter 19113030. A guy who's an analyst and he's recruiting, and he can't bring that back to his head coach and say, hey, click on this guy's link. Another thing is not just the name, the photo. Like your actual profile photo should be something depicting what you're trying to be, which is a student athlete. Mm-hmm. So if it's a picture of you holding up some type of sign, whether it be a gang sign or not, you look ridiculous. If it's a picture of you holding a weapon, you're definitely not recruitable. A picture of you with some type of narcotic or alcoholic beverage, not recruitable. You just can go all the way down the line. And there's guys I know right now that are sitting at home on Twitter, with their thumbs, wondering why they're not getting an opportunity, and that's exactly why. Because, yeah, you might be able to ball, but you don't even get past the first part. Everything you do is an interview when it comes to trying to be a recruited football player. So that means from your presentation to anything, when you're at school, when you're on social media, all those things. Because they have guys, like this was your job, and I've done it before as well, that's all their job is, to see what you're doing via social media and see what kind of person you are and all those things. Because, yeah, you might be able to put a good foot forward when you go and visit a school or when a coach comes visit you. But if they like you, that's the next thing they're going to do. They're going to really see, is this the guy I met? Is that the guy? Or is this guy, Little Pistol Starter 19730, is that the guy who's going to be coming to my university?
Right. If you're posting pictures of doing illegal things, such as smoking grass, smoking tobacco, doesn't matter, smoking, period. You've got to be 18 to do that.
Correct.
If you're drinking alcohol, you've got to be 21.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing something illegal where you live at your mom and dad's house, what's the odds of you doing that when you get to LSU, Alabama, UTSA, even Louisiana College? Louisiana's only D3 program. What are you going to do when you get away from mom and dad and go to a program where all that kind of stuff is readily available?
Not just that. Also got to look at it like this. The majority of the universities are what? They're private universities. And a lot of them are private Christian-based universities. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to just say it in the name, but a lot of these schools are private Christian-based universities. They cannot bring in a guy who represents them in that way. And it's just the truth. And what happens is a lot of these kids are falling to the wayside because of just that. Everything that you're putting on social media does not say that my goal is to be a student athlete in college. It's everything else. I myself recently talked to a kid who his whole page was about him being a rapper. Okay, that's all well and good, but there's curse words everywhere. There's lewd conduct going on. I mean, everything that is not going to say I'm a recruitable football player. So when he sends me a message and I look at his profile, I'm like, is he talking about him as far as being a recruit, or is he talking about somebody else? Because none of this says I play football and I want to go to college and I want to make something of myself in college as a football player. So it's just a huge, huge thing right now. What you do, what you say, and how you're seen, because how big social media is.
Well, Coach, if you're a head football coach at the Bayou Prep Gators, if you bring a young man into your program, you recruit him, bring him in, and you already know this kind of this background about him, right? You had to do your due diligence and do, look at what he is, and he gets in trouble. What does that say about your program, your football team, and you as a coach?
Everything you do represents me. And one of the things that I tell my guys all the time is there's only one way you're going to make me look. And there's only one way I can let you look. So when I go out in public and I'm doing things, I'm representing you. And it's the same thing back and forward. Yeah, there might have been that, you saw that funny video on Facebook and it was funny and they were cussing and doing this and the third, and you wanted to share it. All right, that sounds all well and good, but who's watching you? Who's watching you share that? So I have to put on a certain facade and face so that you can see me and see what I present and what I'm about. You have to do the same thing. There's been many a days, and there's guys who will tell you who know me, I'll hit a player in a minute and hit him up and say, hey, delete it. Delete it, because that's not a student athlete. And that's not going just for my players, that's for guys I know who are out here trying to be recruited. This is what they say their goal is. I'll get in your DM, I'll send you a text message. Delete that. That's not what you do. And we just have too much right now of guys who want to please society. And they want to please their little buddies. But also some of these little buddies that you have, they're trying to please, they don't have the same dream and goal that you have. So if they're not on the same road or same track as you, you should probably go the other direction. Because things that you're going to do to please them and to get likes on Twitter and Instagram and all that, is not going to get a like from Nick Saban. It won't get a like from Les Miles. It doesn't get a like from Coach O. I know some coaches that automatically, and they're diehard Mickey Joseph, big time. You say something crazy on Twitter, he don't want anything to do with you. He don't want anything to do with you because he don't want somebody coming in off the jump with some type of issue. This can't happen. So that'll get you automatically scraped off their board. So we really, kids really have to pay attention to what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're posting, what they're retweeting, all those things. Because like I say, it's leaving a digital footprint. That's your resume. That's your resume you're leaving on social media. That's what you say is okay. If you're posting fighting and violence and all that, you're saying all those things are okay. And those schools have charters that say that these things aren't okay, so they can't have you at their school.
So Dave Ramsey, I like Dave Ramsey a lot. I listen to a lot of his tapes and stuff, and he has a saying that I really like, and it's live today like no one else, so tomorrow you can live like no one else. And I think that's what you're saying right now. Today you want to impress society, and that's really deep, Coach. Because your friends today may not be your friends 2 years from now. They may not be your friends 5 years from now. I have guys I went to high school with, I was friends with, best buds with, and we don't never talk anymore. That's I was trying to show my age. That's 19 years ago. So my life is completely different than it was 19 years ago. 19 years ago I was at Rose Pine High School. I was small town. We had a stop sign. We just got a red light. We were very proud of our red light. Today I own Louisiana Gridiron Football.
Right.
So but you live like no one else today. So tomorrow you live like no one else. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what you're trying to say. Is like, look, guys, it doesn't matter how many likes and followers you have on Facebook, because the only ones that really matter is what is it you want to do. If you want to play college football, your likes and followers should be the Nick Sabans, the Pete Goldings, the Ron Roberts, the Eddie Lacy, the Brandon Lacey's, the
right.
The Sam Naders. That's the likes and followers you really want. The guys you're going to school with, that's well and good. That's all good and stuff. But today, that doesn't matter for what happens today. It's what matters what happens tomorrow.
You've got to think about something really simple. This will help so many student athletes. Just real simple. If I'm posting it and my buddy's laughing at it, would the person I'm really trying to impress be happy with it? So my buddy might laugh or my buddy might think it's cool, but does Mark Rick think it's cool? Would Dennis Francione think it's cool?
You mentioned Mark Rick. I talked to Mark Rick back in 2012. Mark Rick, he'll tell you right in a heartbeat, he's a Christian.
Yes, sir.
He was in the movie Face of the Giants. He was actually at the very end of the movie.
Yes, sir.
Mark Rick would be very, very upfront about how he became a Christian man. He's losing one of his offensive linemen, a couple of days before the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
If Mark Rick doesn't want you, are you going to play at Miami? And Miami, what is Miami known for, Coach? Back in our day, back in the 90s.
Look, I ain't going to lie to you, my family, when I was in school, that was almost a no-go just because what Miami was known for. And that was one of the places I wanted to go. I'm
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Ed Ogeron was in.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted that swag. That Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed type guy that'll walk in there and they're going to punch you in the mouth.
Exactly.
But you can't do that today. You can't do that today.
Totally different day and age.
You've got to be able to turn it on the football field and then turn it off when you step off.
You have, and let's just be honest. The coach of the national championship winning team, Dabo Swinney, is huge on his faith, and huge on his faith in the young men that he brings across, what he does for them, what they represent as far as Clemson University, and all those things. So I've seen for myself guys who are 4- and 5-star recruits who have thought back to themselves like, man, one of the places I've got no attention from is Clemson, and I don't understand because I have attention from this place, that place. And I've got no attention from them whatsoever. And I always say the same thing. What are you putting out there for them to look at? Because everybody knows. I mean, people do things. You make mistakes. You get second chances, third chances, whatever. But if you're going to continue just doing the same thing, at some point people are going to just say that's just what you do. And and I know kids for facts that put things on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook that's not you. Those things that you're putting on there aren't you. But for people who don't know you, that's what they think that is you. So if they think that's you and they're not dealing with you because of that, that's your problem. That's the thing that's stopping you right there. You might have great character, but you're putting out that you're one of the bad character guys, or you're one of the guys that's willing to do these bad character things. Now you just made yourself unrecruitable, and You're wondering why. Your parents are wondering why. Your high school coach, and everybody sits back and like, man, I don't know how that kid fell on the radar. And usually, me myself, just me, and I know if I can do it, you know, these big time guys definitely can do it because I got it from them. I'll look at your Twitter page or Instagram and say, hey, that's why right there, coach. You know, instead of his Twitter being his name or something with a semblance of his name so that a coach can find you, it's something just off the wall, or God forbid, some type of character or emoji or something like that instead of having your actual name. So a recruiting analyst, and you know this, he got a sheet a mile long, he's trying to go through and find the kid, and he's typing on a computer or on his phone, and he's like, no, he's not on Twitter. He is on Twitter every day, but you can't find him because his Twitter handle's not his name. It's something else that's so far away from his name you'll never be able to find him.
So we've talked about the bad side of things of social media. Let's talk about some of the good things. So on your huddle page, there's a spot there for your Twitter handle. You got to put your Twitter handle on your huddle page.
Please.
You know, coach, you send a coach if you're going to email a coach your huddle link, and you don't have your Twitter handle on there, how can he go find you? You know, how can he look you up and see what kind of person you are? How is he going to check your grades? You got to put your huddle link on your Twitter handle on your huddle link. So having Twitter is good for the players,
right? Because
it's going to give you an opportunity to interact back and forth. Correct? Am I correct?
Very much correct. I learned something from a good friend of mine in Alabama it's called Eyes Open Recruiting, and our recruiting coordinator, Coach Washington, he does this all the time. He's looking at a kid's film. He's not just looking at that kid. He's looking at the other kids on his team. He's looking at the kids that are playing against them. So then what he does on Huddle is he might be looking at Brandon James. He's going to click on his team and go down the list on his team and start looking at kids on the team. And same thing for the kids he's playing against. Now, the worst thing in the world, and if he was here, he would tell you. He'll call me and say, hey, look, see if you can find this kid. And his Huddle link's not in his Twitter link's not on his Huddle. And I'm like, man, you know, that now we're
then you go and try to Twitter and try to type his name in. And now you're searching on Twitter and you can't find it.
I'm gonna tell you, there was a kid we searched, and it makes me laugh every day. We searched this kid, trying to find him because we're just like, man, you know, we had got in contact with the high school coach. The high school coach, you know, the coach didn't have a phone number. He deals with Twitter. You can hit him on Twitter. I don't know what it is. We're searching for him, couldn't find him anywhere. You know, other players from his team, all that. Search blank, putting his name, just to see if anything relevant to him pops up. Nothing. The kid was following me the whole time, but his Twitter handle was something so ridiculous that you would never, ever look for it. And definitely didn't say, I'm a football player that's trying to play college football. It was off the wall. We had a good laugh about it, but I know if it happens to me, it happens to a lot of other people. They're like, where, you know, I'm a post-grad prep coach. I have 3,000 some odd people following me. You know, Coach Washington, 3,000 some odd people following me. I look at my friends that coach at, you know, big universities, 10,000, 20,000, you know, and this is the thing, what really y'all don't really understand is these guys don't have the time to search you like that. You know, their day is full. So the fact that they even put in some type of effort to look for you, that's one thing. They're not going to put in a lot because they can't. There's no time for that. So if you're not making yourself available, that's the biggest thing. They always say, what's the best ability a football player can have? Availability. So if you're not available, you're not there.
In Louisiana, football is year-round. At Louisiana Gridiron Football, we're more than just a magazine. Our mission is simple: bring you the inside scoop on the teams that matter most to you. Go to LouisianaGridironFootball.com and subscribe today.
How many emails you get a day about a player? I was at LSU. We got thousands. At the Southeastern, we got hundreds.
Yeah,
you know, so I'm assuming you get hundreds of emails a day. Hey, coach, take a look at my son. Hey, coach, take a look at this young man. Hey, coach, take a look at this. Can you literally watch their film? Go check. You know, go through all those kids. Figure out which kids you want to, you know, are good for your program, fit your style of football, and then go try to find them on social media. Spend 30 minutes per kid. It's not possible.
It's not possible. I mean, it's just,
and do your job at the same time.
And do my job. I said, you know, I'll always tell people, you know, what do you do? I know you coach, but, you know, what is your group? I say, I'm the father of 65 men. And so that means that there's 65 different things going on in a day, plus I have to recruit. So guess what? If I have to do a lot to find you and figure out what's going on, I'm not going to be able to. Not that I don't want to. Because the way our program works, I want to reach out and I want to help as many as possible. But if you're unavailable, I mean, what else can I do? And I get these emails from a coach who's trying to help a kid or a parent or even a player that's played for me or knows me or whatever. You know, they'll hit me up and say, hey, man, coach, this guy at such and such, he's this, he's that. I'm going to send you his film. Great. What's his, how do I get in touch with him? Coach, I won't lie to you. I just talked to him the other day at the gym or whatever, but I know he's on Twitter, but I don't know what his Twitter is. I mean, let's be honest. The easiest handle to have as on social media would be your name. That's simple. Mm-hmm. Even if your name is, I understand if your name is James Brown, there's going to be 30,000 James Browns on Twitter. But if you say James Brown 2001, James Brown Capital High School, something that's going, there he is. There he is right there. There's an opportunity that gets missed in that. So we're always, and as a coach, I hate it because I'm like, man, this is a kid that, if I'm missing him, somebody else is missing him. So it could have been that his real deal opportunity was out there for him, and he just wasn't available to get it.
Guys, we're not just harping on you because, social media and all this is all this or all that. We're saying this because it prepares you for your future. There is life after football. I'm living proof of that. I used to coach football. Now I'm a business owner. So whenever I as a business owner, in the business world, I have to read resumes. Now, when Daly came to me, about a year or so ago, okay, Daly had to present me with her resume. Resume, what the first thing we went and did? I went and followed you on Facebook, followed you on Twitter. I wanted to check out what kind of person you were, because you're going to represent my company. What do you do for me now?
I do interviews and I oversee the interns.
So if I didn't do all of that, how would I have you out here presenting my company every day on video, right?
And I believe you even, I'm assuming you looked at all of my social media before you even hired me. So if there would have been even one thing, that would have been a no-go. That would have been a trash.
Right.
So.
Well, because I get so many resumes a day. Not just from interns. We interviewed a young man yesterday, coach. Want to come in here and work for us. So you get that it's not just football. This is preparing you for life. I don't go out on social media and post pictures of me drinking. I'm going to be the first to tell you I do drink. I'm very open about it. I was in the military, so I was in the Navy. What kind of sailor would I be if I didn't drink?
That was kind of part of it to be able to graduate out of there.
Right, so when I was 17 years old, we go to the Flight Line bar. But anyways, you had, there's that you've got to be that professionalism about it. Today I don't post stuff like that. Today I've got to be a wiser individual because I have so many people watching what we do. I can't go out there and post what I want to post.
Right.
Now when we're behind doors or whatever, we'll joke and talk about that. But that's what we're saying, guys. Publicly, you need to be, Mr. America, Captain America. I drew a blank.
Right.
You got to be Captain America, in public.
Yeah.
You got to walk and talk. You got to be that football guy.
And I think by showing these guys that character matters so much now, it really sets them up for a future, because that's for any job. Character is going to be the main thing for any job. So they really need to get that ingrained now.
Oh, yeah. You don't realize how important it is until you get, when you get to our age and you're looking and,
Hang on, Coach. I'm only 38.
Well, you're the old man then. I'm younger than you, so I'll take it. But how really important, and I sit down and I talk to coaches all the time, and they're like, I just can't say that. It's just certain things I just can't say. I can't say I agree with this. I can't do, because you don't know who you're offending. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these, especially these big time coaches, and you did recruiting, you can't go in certain homes if you were to say this or that, because now you're offending people's religion. You're offending people's beliefs. Your overall talk might be offensive, and they don't want you anywhere in their home.
Right.
So if you can't go in their home, you can't recruit that kid. So when you was working at LSU, do you think they let that slide? You can't go there because you said something crazy and they don't want you to know it? No, they're not.
Right,
so
you're right, Coach.
It works for us as well on the coaching side. So that's why we're harping on it, because we want to make sure your kids are getting the opportunities you deserve, and we don't want to see you miss an opportunity for something silly because you just had to post a fight that happened at school on your Twitter page. And I go down your Twitter page in the media section. There's one picture of you in your football uniform, one video of you playing football. There's 30 fights that happened at school.
What means more to you?
What means, as a football coach, that means more to you. So when you're talking to me, I'll be very honest, I'm kind of disinterested because I'm like, you're just telling me this is what you want to do because that's what sounds good. You don't want to do this. That's what you want to do. And I could be totally incorrect, but that's what you're showing me.
Well, Coach, how much hard work goes into being a at your level, as a prep school guy,